Let's take a look at this payback and net present value problem. Dogbones Inc. is considering a project with the following cash flows. And you can see on the screen, we see that there's a positive cash flow in years 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we're not sure what the project costs. The project has a payback of 2.5 years, and the firm's cost of capital is 12%. What is the project's net present value? Okay, let me illustrate how I solve this, and I worked it ahead of time just to save some time. Okay, cash flow through year 2 is $5,000. You see that, right, in the information that's given. Okay, cash flow through year 3 is $8,000. If I highlight those, that comes to $8,000. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out how much does the project cost at the beginning of the project, and we do that knowing that the project period has a payback of 2.5 years. So if payback is 2.5, then the initial cash outlay must be the 5,000, which is the cash flow through year 2, plus the difference between year 3 and 2 divided by 2 to find the midpoint, and that comes to 6,500. Now you could also calculate that simply by taking the 5,000 and the 8,000 and dividing it by 2. In other words, coming up with the average between those, since we know the average would take us right at the midpoint between years 2 and 3. Okay, so now that we have now that we know that the first cash flow is 6,500, we can solve for NPV. Okay, now I've jotted those numbers again in Excel with the 6.5 cash outflow showing up in the initial period. And we could put a dollar sign on that so that we all know that's in dollars. And we need to solve for NPV. And I'll do that by typing in equal NPV, left paren. I'll come up to the formula bar so that we can get a screenshot of the arguments. The rate is given right there in cell C21. And then the values, we have to start at the end of the first period through the end of the fourth. That gives us the formula. Okay, but then we have to hit our F2 and add in the beginning cash outflow. And right there is the answer we're looking for. I'll bold that. The net present value of this problem is $765.91. Now, this problem could have been given in millions or thousands, so that could represent 765,000 or almost 766,000 if the dollars were given in thousands.